We have a couple of resolutions. One resolution is going to be brought up by Dave Christie.
Okay, so my name is Dave Christie. I'm running for U.S. Congress in the 9th Congressional District. I'm running as part of a national slate of LaRouche Democrats. And the resolution that we are proposing around the nation, which I would ask you all to entertain, is essentially 3 prongs. The first step is a return to Glass-Steagall, Franklin Roosevelt's 1933 Banking Act, which would separate the legitimate commercial banking activities away from the speculative rot on Wall Street. And what it would fundamentally do is take away the power of an increasingly more powerful international banking cartel, which has moved in to buy up frankly, both sides of the aisle, unfortunately. The Democratic Party of Roosevelt is being sold down the river. And we see, of course, what the 8 years of fascism under Bush and Cheney, what unfortunately has continued under Obama. So Glass-Steagall takes away the power of this international banking cartel, which then the second step of the resolution is a return to national banking, to get away from this Federal Reserve system and go back to Hamilton's design for national banking, where we as a nation are in sovereign control of how we actually develop the real economy. And then the third part of the resolution is a program called NWAPA, the North American Water and Power Alliance. And I have material on it so people can get a better look at it, but essentially this was a project that we almost built under John F. Kennedy. And it brings a lot of the freshwater runoff up in Alaska and the Yukon, which melts off the glaciers and dumps into the oceans and never really enters the biosphere in any meaningful way. And we can divert that water and bring it down to the southwest states, where it can be used to double agricultural output. I'll go through a little bit of it, but the point on the resolution is it's really a single item, a single whole. Even though it has these 3 parts, it is a single idea that has to come now, because we are now in the middle of the collapse of the entire international banking system now. The European banking system is melting down. Spain is about to go the way of Greece. That they've continued these bailout processes in Europe, like we've done here under Bush and now under Obama. And then the austerity has come to the citizens of those nations. Bone-crushing austerity that has collapsed living standards, as we see in Greece. We're about to see in Spain, Italy, even France. We just had the downgrading of 11 banks in Europe by the S&P. Right? So once the European banking system goes, say goodbye to the U.S. banking system. And given this collapse, and the fact that Russia and China have decided that they're not going along with this scheme anymore. They're committed to the kind of economic development that we used to do as a nation. So in Russia and China, you've got commitments to space program, nuclear power, railroads, oil and gas development, and they will be viable economies as the U.S. and Europe collapse. And so there's a danger now that a war is being directed at Russia and China, which is only one way that war could go, which is thermonuclear. We have the buildup of the arsenal in the South Pacific, the base now in Australia. We have Iran and Syria as really trigger events for this much larger war. Right? So this resolution coming in right now is absolutely crucial, because Glass-Steagall will bankrupt this banking crowd that's running the show. Right? Separate the legitimate commercial banks away from the gambling racket. Now, once Glass-Steagall goes through and we clean off the books of the banks, all the worthless, speculative, financial gambling chits, once that's cleared off the books, we're not going to have enough real money left to make good on our payments, what Hamilton did after the Revolutionary War, where you say, okay, we've got debts, but we don't have the cash flow to make good on the debt right now. So what we'll do is we'll use the debt as a foundation to extend new credit. But that's going to go into expanding the real physical economy, as we'll see with this NWAPA program. And by expanding the physical economy, then you can take those margins of growth of the real economy to then pay off the debt that we will have incurred after we put Glass-Steagall through, right? So that's how we'll do it. So people can come and find out about NWAPA. It will provide 4 million jobs. And these three elements of Glass-Steagall, national banking, and NWAPA is going to be how we get out of this mess. So again, I'd like to thank Pat for allowing me to speak here.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.